Alright, I got a project, a future project that I'm just kind of scoping out here and seeing how this is gonna work out. I'll show you. I have seen different racers from the early part of last century, the Edwardian era, and they have like canvas, oh, what do I want to call this? Anyway, it goes from here down to about there and kind of shields the riders from, you know, mud, rain, whatever. I'm probably not explaining it very well, but I'm going to kind of mock up something here so I can see what it's going to look like. Oh, and in the, whoa, what are we doing here? There we go. On the video, I'll put in a picture of a couple of them because I'm sure I explained it horribly. So let me get the camera set up and we'll just kind of piddle around with this.
Hi, it's Christina. Well, the folks at Applebee's want to give you a ticket to see the new Tom Cruise movie,
Complicated hearing loss increases your risk of dementia by up to 5 times, and it increases your risk of falling by up to 3 times.
What you've heard about probiotics is probably wrong. I eat yogurt, so I don't need to take a truth about probiotics from a line. The
Breakfast that cutoff man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts. Free is The Restless Ones, an original podcast presented by T-Mobile for Business.
Music's moved me around. I've got a little trip. Take a little trip. Take a little trip and see. Take a little trip with me.
Move in on it a little bit. Oh, shake the camera around a bit. Yeah. Anyways, these side curtains, we're going to call them side curtains, okay? It's not the right name, but, you know, why start now? These come around like here, and as stuff is thrown up, in theory, I guess it saves you a little bit. But I got to figure out how far back I want this to go. And I'm kind of thinking a little further than that. I don't know. I've got to think about this. Here, I'll give you a better view. Whoops. Forgot the camera's plugged in because my battery's dead. Alright. You kind of see how that's working out. Well, I've decided I'm going to extend it on back here and make something here that it can snap to, and make this all removable like a top on a convertible. Think of the words, Grandpa. Anyways, then we'll have a flap inside here that'll lay down in there and keep the crap from coming up. Or maybe it'll snap up from the bottom. That's right, better. Yeah, that'll work. I can see a lot of wasted material coming up in this project. At least 80% of it's going to end up on the floor, I'll bet you. Oh well. Yeah, you get the idea. Another goofy idea brought to you by Shed by the Tracks. Well, it's a beautiful day. Bridal bush has got blooms on it, and got a few flowers planted right there and back there and right there. I think there's another one there somewhere. There it is. So we're kind of getting into the swing of spring here now. Thought I heard something. Oh well. Some of you may have noticed that this thing has some blue smoke that comes out of that pipe right there every once in a while. Fairly heavy. And it's always after I've been, you know, at like 30 miles an hour, something like that, going along, you know, for a distance at a time. And when I set it like a stoplight or idle in the driveway here. Anyways, like I said, once I come to an idle, like in a driveway or something like that, it starts blowing the blues. And I noticed that my number one spark plug is the only one that really has a lot of oil on it when I've taken them out. The rest of them look pretty good. And I got thinking about it, I thought, well, obviously, when I assembled the engine, I've got a ring in upside down, and it's pumping oil. And I just kind of left it at that and thought, well, you know, I'm certainly not going to tear it apart for that. I'm just going to run it. You know, this isn't a pristine engine anyway. Anyways, it has outside oil line on it. I'll show that to you. Here's where it goes into the front of the engine. Then it goes back and hooks into the where the mag post is at. I don't have a mag, but post is there. Anywho, I've got oil flippers on the flywheel, and they force oil through this line up to the front. Well, that's an add-on piece. Model T never came with that. So, what I'm thinking is, I'm getting too much oil to the front of the engine. Now, the reason for these was, well, the stated reason was when you go uphill, it'll keep oil at the front end of your engine, you know, because you're going like this and the oil runs down the back of the pan and into the sump back there, or whatever you want to call it. And then it starves that front rod, or front two rods, because the little gullies that they go through and scoop up oil, they get empty as you're going uphill. That's the stated reason. Real reason was, I think, it's only my opinion, there is another oil passageway from the mag to the front of the engine. and those would fill up with lint from cotton bands. Now I don't have cotton bands, so I don't have to worry about it, but usually I think that oil passage filled up, it's a tube with a little scoop on the end of it. I think that filled up and they were starving the front, and so they put on an outside oil line. Anyway, after this long explanation, when I took this engine apart, that interior tube with its scoop was completely full of crap. You couldn't blow through it. I had to finally use a wire to get down through it and then blow air through it. But I think with the original tube being clean and me having these big oil flippers on this flywheel, I think I'm forcing too much oil to the front. That's counterintuitive, but it's what I think is going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off right here, and I'm going to see if I can put some kind of restriction in there. I don't want to shut it off completely because I kind of want to experiment with this a little bit. I'd like to cut the flow in half. That's my idea. I figure if I cut it in half and I see a improvement in how much it smokes at idle after you've had a run, you know, say down to the park and back, come back, sit in the driveway, and if it isn't smoking as much, or it'd be great if it just quit, then I'll go from there. And if I think I need to open it up a little bit, close it down a little bit, maybe a quarter, but I think I can machine something that will fit in that tube and cut it down by half. Because I don't want to get rid of it. And the other idea is this. I like having that on there. I like knowing that a lot of oil is going to the front. I may put a valve in there and something I can run from the dash. So if I, you know, anything like this or like this, it's no big deal. But if I got on a hill and was pulling low gear up a hill like that, it'd be nice if I could open it up and get more oil to the front. That would be great. Maybe control it a little bit. So, all right, I'm gonna take that piece off and we'll see what happens. All right, what size do we need here? .9/16. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but it just, from everything that it's doing, this seems right. Of course, it could be. It also could be that my rings just never seated yet up there. I know 2, 3, and 4. I mean, they look, you know, they look like they're supposed to when I take the plugs out. Talking about the plugs. All right, I got that line off. I'm sure once I get down here, I'll be blocking the camera shot. Oh well. I don't want you to miss me struggle, because I'm sure that's always fun. Oh, that's the wrong way. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. This is a hollow bolt that the line hooks to, and then it goes down into the pan. And what I want to do is put a restriction in that. There we go. So now I got to figure out something to use. Now here's something I didn't know. I thought this was a bought-in part back in, back in the 20s or whenever this line was bought, this kit. They usually came in a kit. This was made. This was brazed to this bolt and then drilled out in the bottom like that. Yeah, somebody made that somewhere along the line. And for a farmer repair, it's pretty darn nice. Looks as good as I ever do to this thing. Alright, I will show you. I don't know if I can hang on to this or not. I found something to restrict the flow in this. I don't know if you can see that. That is that is a wheel collar for a model airplane. Yeah, I went through my junk in the basement and found that. And it just happens to fit into this down to about there where the head of that bolt ends, and it won't go no further. And here's the size of the hole now. And there's it. Does that look like half? Maybe? I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, that just goes down in there and stops right about there. Won't go no further. So we'll put it in. Whoops! Yes, yes! Oh my God! Alright, got that. I don't know if this really helps or not, or if it's necessary, but I'm doing it. Alright, we're going to just reposition the camera and start it up, let it run a little bit, see what it does. Okay, first test. I better take that up just a hair more. I don't want to get run over. guess I won't really know until I drive it. Look what I did. My favorite tool that I own. I've said this before, but if you don't own one of these, get it. Leap into the 21st century. I think I paid 11 bucks, 9 bucks, I don't know. Wasn't nothing. Anywho, I believe it might have made a difference. Now, I'm not going to drive it today because I'd like to sleep all night tonight thinking I made a difference. Okay. We'll put you up in the specially designed camera holder. Yeah. Also known as my engine hoist. Alright. Well, I'd like to say I'm going to go take it and try it out and all that jazz, but that's not going to happen. We'll get to it. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, the next day. I think Thursday I might get a break. But I got the lawn mowed, so, you know. I did something I was supposed to do today also. Alright, that's enough. The next thing you see will be a test, and either huge amounts of blue smoke again, or not as much, or maybe none. I think that's an improvement. I really do. We'll just drive it this way for a while and see what happens. It still smokes a bit, but it's not as bad as it was. I'm just going to leave it alone. I can live with a little bit of smoking at idle. That's no big deal. So, yeah. We're just going to ignore it and pretend that fixed it. I know it's better. At least I know it's getting plenty of oil.